In this video, I'm going to install a backup camera in this 2017 Kia Forte 5. This model did not come with a factory backup camera or a touchscreen radio, so I'm installing a new Alpine head unit as well.
And the adventure starts by finding a place to mount the camera.
I'm in luck. There's a black plastic piece under the tailgate lip right next to the handle. This appears to be the stock mounting location if the car came with a factory backup camera. If you're using a license plate mounted camera, you can drill right through this plastic piece, but I'm going to mount my camera directly to it.
This is a universal lip mount camera. It's designed to hang upside down.
To get to that piece, we've got to remove all of the trim off of the back tailgate, and that starts by removing the center top piece right here in this shot. It's held on with clips. You can use a panel tool, preferably a plastic one so you don't mar the surface, and you just pop that piece off. And here's a shot with that piece removed. With that piece removed, you have access to the only two screws that are holding the back panels in place. There are two pieces, one to the right and one to the left of the back window. You just pull the screw out and the rest of it's held in with panel clips, but you can't pull these out yet because you got to remove the big piece from the bottom before you can get these off. So grab a panel tool and start working your way around, releasing all of the panel clips. There are several clips on this large piece. It's going to take a while to get through all of them. Once you get that piece off, you can reach inside of the door skin and you can push out the black plastic square that we're looking for right here. There are 4 metal clips holding it on. When you pop this thing out, those metal clips are going to go flying, so just be prepared. Now you're going to run your backup camera wire through this boot right here. There's 2 grommets. One attaches to the hatch, one attaches to the body of the car. It's a real tight fit. It's kind of hard to squeeze through there. So what you're going to want to do is use the old zip tie trick. So here I've got a zip tie taped to the connector itself. That made it a whole lot easier to pull through. If you're having trouble pulling it through, put a little bit of soap on the zip tie and the connector and it should pull through a lot easier. Now this red end of the connector right here, this is the part that plugs into the backup camera itself. There's a short wire coming from the backup camera that you'll plug into this connector. I ran it through from the body side to the door side because I thought it would be easier to run that through as opposed to the other end, which has an RCA plug on it. In order to turn on and power the camera, we're going to tap into the reverse light, which can be found right here in this harness here. Before we go any further, let's pull up the owner's manual and let's take a look at our connections. So on one end of the camera connection, you've got a yellow RCA style connector and there is a red wire coming out of that connector. The manual calls that wire B. Then there's a long cable, the extension cable, and towards the end of that extension cable is a regulator, and there is a black ground wire and a red power wire coming out of that regulator. The 2 red power wires are connected internally. That is the same wire. And then from there, we've got the connector, the red connector you saw in the clip just a few seconds ago that plugs into the connector that then goes onto the camera. And the important thing to look at right here are these 2 wires. There's a blue one and a white one. The white wire is the parking guideline wires. If you do not want to display parking guidelines, you cut that wire and tape off both ends. The blue wire is the image flip wire. I'm going to mount this camera hanging down, and that is the default position. If you wanted to mount this camera sticking up, you would cut the blue wire and that would flip the image horizontally. What we need to do now is we need to find a place to ground the wire and connect red wire A to our reverse light in the tailgate, and then red wire B will connect to our radio. So now let's pull up the owner's manual for the radio. I'm going to connect this to an Alpine ILX-w650, and on the Alpine radio we're going to be looking for the reverse wire, which is an orange-white wire. According to the instructions on the radio, we hook that up to the plus side of the back lamp signal lead of the car. So we're going to connect that orange-white wire to red wire B, and we'll plug the RCA line into the back of the radio. Red wire A goes to the backup light. For the ground wire, I found a fantastic factory location to ground this wire.
Running wires is a ton of work, so I shut off the camera, set it aside, and started pulling body panels out of the car. Here's the backup camera sitting in its new home. The camera even came with a hole saw. I just drilled through the plastic, inserted the camera, and tightened down the retaining nut.
So let's take a look at our connections. The first thing I want to show you is right here. This is a factory ground location. I just added a terminal to the black ground wire, and I use the factory ground location to ground out the backup camera. Next, you can see a bunch of zip ties, and I just followed along with the factory wire and zip tied to the factory wire so that no one would even know that it's there. And right here in the factory connection is where I made my power connection. I just unclipped it so it would be easier to work with. And then I found the gray wire with the black stripe, and I just spliced my red wire into the gray wire with the black stripe. Simple matter of peeling back some insulation, soldering, and using some electrical tape so I can get a good connection. Then I continue to follow the factory wire. There's the connector for the camera in red, up into the grommet. Put a little extra tape on it right here so it wouldn't rub. Into the grommet, then it goes into the car. It's going to run down the C-pillar from there. Now, just a word of warning to you, you've pretty much got to remove everything in the car. The entire bottom of the trunk, all the trunk floor panels had to come out. Everything you see here in black had to come out. Then we're going to run around the side of the car and take a look at the door seals. In order to get the back seat scruff panel out, you've actually got to remove the back seat. There are 2 bolts in the back of the back seat and then some clips, and it comes right out. Now the front was much easier. The scruff panels just popped right out with a panel tool. As you can see, I threw some towels down on the seats. It was a hot day. I didn't want to sweat all over the seats. This panel right here pops out with the panel tool. Then you can go underneath the crash pad and up into the dash to make your connections to the radio. But that's an adventure for another day. If you want to see it, you've got to hit the subscribe button and watch this playlist. I'm the DIY audio guy, and I'll see you on the next adventure.